Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Reuse Company webinars, where we are going to talk about our tool, Rat Authoring Tools for IBM Rational Doors. Rat Authoring Tools, a widget for IBM Doors Next Generation to strengthen requirements authors. My name is Cecilia Karlsson, and I will be hosting today's webinar. With me, I have Elias Josfi, Sales and Consulting Engineer at the Reuse Company. This is the agenda for today. First, we will have a short presentation of the Reuse Company and the presenter. And after that, we will have a brief introduction to IBM Doors Next Generation. We will consider requirements quality right at the authoring phase. Then we will have a presentation of the widget and its functionalities and a live demo. Finally, we will have some time for questions. So let's start with a few words about the Reuse Company. The Reuse Company was created in 1999 as a spin-off from University in Madrid by system and software engineers. Our headquarters is in Madrid, but we also have an office in Stockholm, Sweden, and a delegation in Tokyo, in Japan. In 2021, we are planning to open an office in the US. Our mission is to promote a reusable, scalable, and global solution to a smart and interoperable systems engineering environment. And we do this by offering a semantic knowledge-centric approach. Since the company is a spin-off from the Carlos III University of Madrid, research and innovation is in our DNA. And about 10% of our revenues are dedicated to research and development. The Reuse Company is also actively involved in several large European research projects like Arrowhead, New Control, and Embrace. The Reuse Company is also called TRC. We like to say that it's easy to remember if you think of T like in traceability, R like in reuse, or C or almost Q like in quality. You can also apply these concepts to other topics. Let me introduce you to the presenter. Elias is a sales and consulting engineer, and he got his master's degree from the University of Montreal in Canada and the IMT Atlantic School of Engineering in France. He has experience in sales and a technical background in energy and mechanical engineering. He has also been involved in a research project around the environmental impacts of end-of-life management of aircrafts. Elias is passionate about international projects, and currently he speaks 4 languages fluently. Okay, so let's start then with the presentation. Elias, please go ahead.
Thank you, Cecilia. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar. So, as Cecilia said, the topic of this webinar will be to present you the features of our RAT authoring tool widget for IBM Doors Next Generation. So first, before going into the presentation of the widget, let's start with a quick introduction to the IBM Doors Next Generation requirements management tool. So, IBM Doors Next Generation is a requirements management tool that was developed on the IBM Jazz platform. So it runs as a web client, and as main features, it enables the users to create and manage functional and non-functional requirements, business processes diagrams, use case diagrams, UI sketches and storyboarding, approval processes, and impact analysis. So this tool comes an evolution to the IBM Doors Classic, as we like to call it in the field. And one of the improvements is the enhancement of the team collaboration. So with this interface, it's supposed that the users would have better team collaboration between different projects. So here we see an example of the interface. So the web-based interface of the RAT of the Doors NG, IBM Doors Next Generation. And here, an example of the view with our information coming from the systems engineering suite. So I'll come to it later with the quality of the requirements. So having said that about the IBM Doors Next Generation, let's start first on answering this question: why focusing on requirements quality? So, which is the aim of the tool. The question would be precisely to ask ourselves why consider requirements quality at authoring phase. As you know, we can check the requirements straight from the authoring phase, or we could also think about having this at the end of a process of documenting requirements. So you see here that 70% of the defects introduced in a systems engineering project are introduced in the requirements phase, whereas only 4% of them are discovered. So we see that requirements are the main reason for failure. And the idea with when we see this graph is first to reduce the amount of defects introduced in the projects, and also to increase the number of defects discovered. So we try to reach a middle point here to enhance the quality of the requirements at the early stages of requirements engineering. So again, here we can see the importance of having these early discovery of defects in requirements. So we see here that at the specification phase of the requirements engineering concept as introduced by Carl Wiegers, we can apply rules at the requirements authoring phase, and imagine that these rules would be maybe lighter than the rules applied in the verification phase. And you see, for example, that TBD, to be determined, could be accepted in the specification phase without a good knowledge of the properties of a system, for example. But then at an advanced phase, we could think that this TBD in a requirement would be flagged as a mistake. And here we see that it's important to think about this process that is repeating itself over time. So it has several iterations. And the aim, by using the tools, so we'll see later how complementary these tools can be, and especially how to start with the RAT authoring tool. We see that the aim here is to reduce the number of iterations between specification and verification in the time. Another concept that is important in the complementarity of these two tools is the concept of quality belts, which is a concept that we introduce when talking about the requirements quality. So the aim is to design a roadmap based on the concept of belts like in martial arts to gradually increase the complexity of the rules. So the idea is to start with a small number of rules, very basic, focused mainly on syntax and vocabulary, and then increase the level of quality with advanced semantics rules and metrics. So we would see the concept of metrics later. So the more demanding the level, of course, the quality, the lower the quality. And here we can think that the first belts could be belts for authoring, and then the quality analyst would apply more strict rules to the document. So here we can think of a representation of the main concepts that surround the knowledge that could be used in a project. So as I said, a first level would be using very basic concepts of the knowledge base. For example, the syntax analysis, controlled vocabulary, and information coming from a model, like relationships between systems and system elements. And then we could go up to add advanced semantics, like, for example, requirements patterns. And these patterns could be applied to to the analysis of the requirements. So jumping from syntax analysis to semantic analysis. And then the more we go up, the more we could include advanced features coming from the knowledge base. So we see that here the aim is to make these two tools, so the Quality Studio or QA Quality Studio and the RAT authoring tool, to communicate between each other. And you see that the more long the arrow here is, the more demanding will be this step, because of course if the quality rules are stricter, then it requires a more thorough process from the requirements authors. So the idea is to reduce the number of iterations, as I said earlier. So more info on the quality belts and the configuration of metrics in the tools could be found in the webinars that we presented. So following this link that will be available in the presentation. Another reason why we should consider requirements quality at authoring phase is because the communication is not always that easy. So we work with people coming from different fields and from different cultures, different understandings of things. So we need to start with a very clear communication without any ambiguity. And let's take a small, very basic example. Maybe far-fetched. So, for example, the recipe told me to put the pie in the oven at 120 degrees. So maybe it could seem a bit basic here, but we could imagine that someone would think of this at some point. So with every requirement, we need to think, is there any ambiguity introduced by the sentence? And what could be the meaning if I don't write precisely what I mean? And pi would be the number pi would be 3.14, or the exact, or let's say almost exact number with all the decimals, or the pi again. So having said this about the reasons why we should introduce the requirements quality in the processes, we can now introduce the features of the RAT for IBM Doors NG. So first, you see that this tool is fully integrated in the RMS interface, also in the IBM Doors NG interface. So you see that on the right, we have access to the requirements modules. So the modules that include the information that we need to analyze, with information about the quality of the requirements. And on the left, you have the widget that is included. And the aim is that each time we click on the requirement, we have information on the quality of this requirement that can be stored in quality view in Doors, so that all the users contributing to the project could have access to this information. Then we could use the addition of requirements using the advanced semantics I was talking about. So for example, here we have a requirement that we could assume someone changed the property or the measurement unit, like a bulk replacement of terms. And someone maybe could forget to change one of the elements. So we find ourselves with this requirement. So the idea is to identify that when we detect a certain pattern for a system property, we see that we could detect the relationship here as an invalid relationship for measurement unit and property. So here the information comes on the left side, and you can then improve the quality of the requirements simply by changing the errors. So either the property or the other measurement unit. Then we could also rely on requirements patterns. So these concept of patterns is introduced in most of our webinars as a way to improve the semantics of requirements quality analysis. And here we have an example of a pattern to specify the physical requirement of a system. And here you have the information of what kind of pattern we are using. And in this box here, as well as the requirement quality here displayed, we also have an information about the pattern. So we see here that the requirement is matching. So it means that I'm on the right path. I need to write more terms, but I'm on the right path. So you see, for example, here that the suggestions of terms are systems. So in the knowledge base, they are all identified as systems. So the idea is to limit the scope to the objects identified as systems, and not all the possible objects that exist in the knowledge base. So here, matching, and I'm still waiting for a model verb to have a requirement written, and then at the end, I have this sentence, and here it's saying that it's matched, meaning that I finished the pattern, and with this sentence, I'm sure that I didn't miss any information. So I have a property, I have a system, a number, and a unit. So here, I'm sure that I have a well-formed requirement with all the information needed. And then coming back to this view, you see here that we have information on the quality view that is stored, with also a summary of the missing points. So for example, here a missing quantifier. So expected is a measurement unit or noun, or the use of a passive voice here in the requirement. So you see that for every requirement, we have an identification of what is causing problems. So here, this view here enhances the collaboration between quality analysts and requirement authors. We will see later that this quality can be calculated in another of our tools to contribute to the collaboration between authors and quality analysts. So this widget, of course, can be used like this alone in the Doors interface. But as I said in the beginning, it's very important to have in mind that the collaboration between authors and analysts, and the fact that we reduce the number of iterations between specification and verification of requirements is a good way to have a more efficient requirements engineering phase. So to enable this, the RAT authoring tool is part of a systems engineering suite, and we will see the collaboration between the RAT authoring tool and the quality management tool, RQA Quality Studio, in this demo that I will present you in minutes. So just some information about the systems engineering suite. So the aim of the suite is to tackle requirements quality management and offer a set of tools and processes relying on automatic measurement of the requirements quality, what we call the metrics, and also the support to requirements authoring, as I told you, with the RAT authoring tool. And the way we represent the quality metrics, so the approach to tackle quality for the requirements, is called the CCC approach, for correctness, consistency, and completeness. And here we see the list of tools that together form the systems engineering suite. So each tool is focused on one aspect of the quality management. So one tool specifically that we will see in the demo together with RAT authoring tool, which is the tool to manage quality and calculate the quality of documents. And you have other tools to tackle, for example, verification and validation of both sides of the V model, so V and V Studio, the RAT authoring tool, of course, to assist the authors, and the tool dedicated to manage the knowledge. So include terms, glossaries, patterns. So all the things that we use in the tool to enhance the level of quality and the level of knowledge is managed in this tool. And we have also a tool dedicated to links between different types of artifacts generated in systems engineering projects. So we see that these tools have the feature, the very interesting feature of connecting to different repositories. So, for example, the Quality Studio is connecting to IBM Doors, IBM Doors Next Generation, PTC Integrity, Excel, and so on. The same for the RAT authoring tool, which in this case is used as a plugin, so or a widget in case of the IBM Doors NG that I will show you in the next minutes. And we have also widgets in Excel, Word, Team Center, Capella. So we have different widgets or plugins available, and also Knowledge Manager is able to connect to requirements models. So, for example, modeling tools like Capella, Rhapsody, and also simulation tools like MATLAB Simulink. So you see that the sources are various, and we have a summary of the different connections. So we see here, for example, Doors and Doors NG, and you see that most of the features of the Doors Classic are replicated in the Doors NG widget, and we'll see later what we can do with the requirements quality in the widget in IBM Doors NG. And you see here the different connections for requirement tools and modeling tools. So with this summary, you see that the suite, the systems engineering suite, covers a broad range of connections. So coming back to this concept of requirements quality, based on the 3 dimensions of correctness, consistency, and completeness, we have here this representation. So just to give you an insight of these 3 dimensions, correctness is based on individual requirements. So basically, to measure the correctness of a requirement, we only need to look at the single requirement. Whereas for consistency and completeness, we need to look at the whole specification. So to say that one requirement is consistent, we need to look at all the requirements, basically. And completeness is not even given at individual in the individual score. So it means that one single requirement cannot be told as complete. So the completeness is the completeness of the document in our understanding of the requirements quality. So just to mention the difference between requirements quality characteristics and requirements quality metrics. So the characteristics is basically what do we have to measure. So for example, if a set of rules tells me to pay attention to the ambiguity or the precision or the abstraction of a requirement, it's a characteristic. But then we need to know how we can measure these different characteristics. So the metrics are aiming to answer the question how we measure. So, and there's another interesting fact is that we need smart characteristics. So specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based. So you see here that we need to ask ourselves all these questions to make sure that the characteristics we use are a good starting point. So one example of rules that maybe most of you know is the rules coming from the INCOSI guide for writing requirements. So we have a mapping of these rules, and our out-of-the-box database, so let's call it the default database that we have available with our tools when installed, is featuring most of the rules and the metrics created based on these rules from the INCOSI guide for writing requirements. So the idea is that each rule is tackled by metrics to measure the quality of requirements. And this, for this mapping of the INCOSI guide for writing requirements, I invite you to visit our webinar page that we presented this year about this mapping of the new guide for writing requirements published last year. Another way to enhance the quality of the requirements is to rely on libraries. So we have also knowledge libraries that are free and available on our website. So the INCOSI rules are one of the libraries as well. So we can also have a library to cover these rules from the INCOSI. And we have also specific libraries, libraries based on patterns, for example, the ears patterns or the master patterns, and also domain-specific libraries, like, for example, the ECSS and NASA libraries for the space industry and ISO 26262 for the automotive industry. Coming back to CCC, let's start with the first C, which is correctness. So we have different kinds of correctness metrics, basically metrics based on information from the RMS, like attributes, links, versions. Metrics based on vocabulary and words, so forbidden, restricted words, mandatory words. And metrics also based on linguistic, so text length, misspelling, readability, detection of passive voice. So you see that we have different kinds of metrics to tackle syntax and what we call correctness in the end of the requirements, and also metrics based on conformance with models. So check that the relationship between two terms in the PBS exists in the model, and also metrics based on patterns to enforce the structure of the sentence or avoid certain structures. Completeness then is another interesting point, because the idea is not only to check the syntax, but also to check that the whole document covers certain notions or concepts that come from the knowledge base. So here you see that we read the requirements one by one, and we check all the elements that come from models or a state and mode, state machine, or transitions. So you see that here computer, monitor are featured. So if it appears again, then it's not checked a second time, of course. And then it's also the same for states. Here, transit to low battery mode. So we will have the transition to low battery, from normal to low battery, and also other states here and properties. So all kinds of elements could be terms, properties, states, transitions, can be tackled by a completeness metric. And all the elements that are not featured in the document will be detected, and then it will give you an incompleteness score. So the more of these terms you have, then the less quality you will get. More info of complete or about completeness also available on our website in one of our webinars. And what about consistency now? So consistency is relying first on pattern-based writing. So you need patterns to be featured in your knowledge base to start building up the consistency part of your quality metrics. And then we have different kinds of consistency. Consistency in naming, so among model and elements in textual requirements. Consistency among requirements, for example, detecting overlapping requirements, requirements that are duplicated or similar in the meaning, or requirements models. Consistency, like, for example, the allocation of properties. Let's say, for example, make sure that the sum of the property of sub-elements is lower than the property of the upper level element, for example. And about this first basis for consistency, which are the patterns. Patterns are basically a structure that we build in the tool to enforce this well form of writing, or to identify some structures to avoid, like for example superfluous infinitives or passive voice even. One example of consistency would be here, if we take a similar example as before for completeness, that now we don't check the terms and their appearance in the document, but we check the relationship. So here, for example, this relationship doesn't exist. So in consistency, it will be a low quality requirement. And then we also check the consistency in the transitions here and the consistency in properties. So if I set the property to 3.5, the result will be low quality for the consistency metric that will tackle this point. And more info on consistency as well on the previous webinars that we presented here following this link. So and then after presenting you the RAT features, now some words about the features we have in our RQA Quality Studio tool. So the idea is after the requirements are documented in Doors NG using the RAT, that we can also analyze this quality in RQA. So the goal is to enhance the quality of these requirements and then send back the results to the authors so that they can keep developing the level of quality. And then the idea is to go back and forth between these two tools and to make sure that these steps of these iterations are made in a progressive and efficient way. So you see, we have a connection to the module, which means that every time there's a change here, the quality analyst opening the connection to the Doors NG will get the last information coming from the widget and the Doors NG in general. So we see that in this tool to tackle quality management, we can configure these metrics, so the CCC approach that we presented. Here you see the view of the metrics, and you can also configure the functions and enable or disable the metrics. Here we have examples of results for the metrics. So you see a graphical overview of the results and also the details, metric by metric, with the scores of high quality, medium quality, and low quality. So all this information, after doing a calculation in RQA Quality Studio, will be stored in the IBM Doors module if we choose to select the Save Quality Indoors option. So I will come to it in the demo. Also, we have here a presentation of the results in a graphical way, and also the evolution scoreboard here to see how the quality has been evolving over time. So the aim is that in fewer iterations we can go straight to higher level of quality. And now some information about the next developments and improvements that we are on the verge of doing or that are currently being worked on. So for instance, if you remember the connection with Doors and Doors NG, one of the differences is the use of consistency and completeness metrics directly inside the widget. So this is something that we are thinking for development. But so far, the idea is to start with correctness metrics in Doors NG using the widget, and then go to RQA to enhance the quality with these metrics. Also include the overlapping, so the identification of similar requirements straight from the authoring point and not after. The extraction of requirements based on patterns to add new requirements to the module using the knowledge from the systems engineering suite. And also improve the quality report generation that we already have in the widget. So these are basically the improvements that we are thinking of, and that will be our work in the next couple of months. So now let me go to the demo so that I can show you some of the features. So just a few seconds that I share back my screen. So now you see my screen. And we will now enter in the Doors NG module to see how we can modify the requirements and start creating requirements using the widget. So you see that my first view here is the view of the different projects. So I will open a project here that includes requirements. So for example, this module. And here I will see first the quality view. So here this is ranked by quality level. So I can rank it the other way. So here I have medium, low, and high quality. And for each low quality, I have here the information of what is mistaken in the requirement. So for example, here escape clauses when request by. So TBD. So all these kinds that we already decided that it is not accepted in the process. So we imagine here that we are in an advanced phase. So after a few iterations between authoring and quality analysis. So these results, they come from the RQA Quality Studio tool. So you see here that we can, for example, so the widget here, it works this way. So when we select a requirement, then we can start modifying and see the errors that come from it. So for example, if I scroll down, I see here the high quality requirements. So I will focus on the low quality, of course. And here I see, so for example, if I click on the requirement, the first time it loads will be a bit longer because it's loading all the information from the ontology, so the knowledge base that we have. And the first instance will be to select the baseline that we will be working on with. So imagine that we have here two baselines, one that we worked with at the beginning and one that we had managed by the quality analyst for a further phase. So we can think of using the advanced configuration for this phase because we already did some iterations. And after loading the information coming from the baseline, so all the metrics, all the knowledge patterns, and so on that comes with it, we will get the information of the metrics. So of course, the first load is here a bit longer, but then we'll see that it's quicker. So you see, for example, low quality here, avoid misspelling. So here I can see the information and I can also point out the mistake. So here ISO is written in lowercase. So we might think of write it in uppercase because it's what it's expected from this because we can force the case of terms in the knowledge base. So here, if I write, for example, ISO in uppercase, then I wait for the calculation to be made, and the idea is to get at the end the quality from this. So now the quality is high, meaning that I have here the quality stored. So you see it changed to high directly. So it launches a quality analysis and it comes back to the widget and to the Doors NG with the new quality created. So we can think of using also the advanced editor. So for example, if I have the weight of the wheels shall be TBD kilograms, I can also use the advanced editor. So I can select this requirement and open the editor. So it will open a new screen with advanced features. So for example, here, I can identify the element. So you see, this is the normalized. So this is an advanced feature that we have in the tool. normalized version, because in the tool it's the term is in lowercase, so that's why when I click it comes like this. So the identification comes like this, and we have the information of the function of the quality metrics. And what I can do is now change this TBD, kilograms, to another value. So for example, 50, and then I get no issues. So here it means that I got the quality right, and I can now save. And after it saves, then I can go back to the so requirement save. If I click on OK, I will now reload the module, because it's saving the module, so it's saving the information indoors. And then I can see, for example, because it's sorted with high quality, that if I look for my requirement, then I see here that it's in high quality. So this is some addition of requirements using the editor. We can also think of creating new requirements. So let's see, for example, if I click here and I decide to create a new requirement, let's, for example, below, and I write, for example, the power consumption, or the truck power consumption, for example, shall be like this, for example. Let's see, for example, and then I get this requirement stored. Then I can see this information. But basically, what is interesting for me here, so I have a high quality, but how do I make sure that this vocabulary or this form of writing, this structure, is following the structure that is required by the requirements quality analyst, for example. So I can go to the editor and I can choose to rely on patterns. So for example, truck, maybe truck is not a system in my case. So maybe I need to write a requirement based on patterns to use a term that is in my systems list, let's say. So I can remove all the information and I can start writing a physical requirement, for example, properties. And here you see the information of the not matching pattern capability. So I will see how it evolves over time. You see that here we have, by default, when the requirement is empty, 3 mistakes. First, we need a modal verb for the requirement. Then we need the requirement to have at least 1 paragraph, and the text length as well. So we need at least 4 words to have a requirement, to have a sentence. So I can start. So you see that I have suggestions. So the first suggestion is an article in the pattern. So if I click, I get the word written, and then I can I can write, for example, as well like this, and I can wait for the other suggestion to come. So now I have all informations of properties, for example, and I said power consumption, so I can click on power consumption. Then I get the information of the other term, or I can keep writing. So it depends on the elements that I have. So I can keep writing like this, and I follow the pattern basically. So then I can add an article, or I can because it's optional. I'm not obliged, but let's say I have an article here. Then I will get another suggestion, which will be the system. And here I will get the list of systems. So here I don't have the truck, for example. So I need to follow one of these elements, or suggest one element to be in the list of systems, and we'll come to it later. So power consumption of the antenna, for example. And then, so you see here matching, meaning that I'm on the right path. So I have a modal verb now. So let's say if I write should, so 1 modal verb is necessary here. But then if I decide that shall is the is the form that we need to follow. Maybe this is not right. So we can go back. So for example, here, avoid the use of banned modal verbs. So if I click here, it says should is not okay. So probably that I would need to write shall, for example. And here I can go back to writing the requirement, and it will so shall be. So for example, here, yeah, I have the number here expected. So, and I have also a preposition like a minimum of less than, something like this, to an operator, what we call an operator in the pattern. So shall be lower than or equal to. So all this is considered as one element of the pattern. Then I would expect a number. So any number that is so some of the numbers are in the ontology. So here basically any number would work. So for example, I can write 55.9. And then I expect a unit. And this also is a good way to enforce that we use defined units. And maybe here I can use horsepower, for example. And then when I finish, then you would see that my matching becomes matched, meaning that I have the pattern matched, and then I don't have any issues regarding the pattern, because I have a measurement unit, and then it means that it's okay. So now I can save this requirement, and I can say, okay, now it's saving to doors. It will say that, okay, it's saved, and I can click on OK, and the view will be reloaded so that I can get this new requirement in my doors module. So if I rank by ID, for example, I can find my new requirement over here with a high quality. So you see right here that we can add requirements, we can edit requirements, we can also delete. Of course, this is a feature that we have in Doors NG. So that doesn't depend on so we can remove artifacts, but we can, instead of doing it by only the user's choice, you can do it by the names of the quality. So if you don't want any low quality requirement, then you can also delete all the low quality requirements as well. So here, this is it for some of the features that we have in RAD authoring tools. Of course, if you have any questions, we can come to it later in the Q&A session. But now, let me present you the RQA Quality Studio and how it can work together with the RAD authoring tool to enhance the quality. So just a second that I open you the Quality Studio. So here you see the connection window of the Quality Studio. So you see here that we can connect to the Doors NG module that we have. So let's connect to this module. So you will see that we can get the information of the elements coming from the Doors modules. For example, the quality and the new requirements that we created. So if I open my course here module, I need to select a quality baseline. So as I did in the widget, if you remember, let's say I can keep working with the advanced configuration, or I can decide to have an even more advanced configuration to improve the level of quality and give new information to the requirements authors. So now I'm copying the information so that it features in the module, and then I will be viewing the quality of the whole document. So again, of course, the first loading is including all the loading of the spell checking machine, the information from the knowledge base, and so on. But then inside the tool, you will see that can get quicker in the process. So now it's loading the information and copying, and then I will get all the information available for quality assessment and quality addition. So now it's loading the interface. and we will get the visual information on quality. And remember, the last requirement we created, it's right here, with a high quality here, as we calculated. So here we get exactly what we have in the widget, in Doors NG, and using the widget, and we can improve the level of the requirements. So, for example, here we can configure the quality. So remember that the quality configuration is right here with all the correctness, consistency, and completeness metrics. And we can also have the authoring patterns information here. So this is one of the patterns that we used to write the last requirement that we edited in Doors NG. So here, imagine that we have this information here as the enabled metrics. So we can disable or enable also in consistency and completeness. So, for example, if I want a completeness metric, so we have a webinar detailed on this matter, but we can decide to go further in the process. So, for example, if I want to calculate the quality with this, I can do the calculation on the whole requirements. Here, selecting all the artifacts, or only in the module that I was working with in IBM Doors NG. And here, after I do the quality assessment, the idea is calculate the quality. So we'll see that the quality here is calculated for the whole set of requirements, and we will get the results that. So you see, it's assessing the correctness, and then it's saving all the info in Doors NG. So then, after it's finished, we see that we have also consistency results. So remember that in the Doors NG, we have the correctness part that we worked on, and then we have also consistency results here in R2A, meaning that we can have more information on quality here that can be useful for the quality authors. So here we can see the results, as I showed you in the presentation. We can, for example, the use of vague terms. We can see, for example, that clear, flexible, fast are not expected in requirements, and we can go to change them. For example, if I see the train should be designed to be very fast or flexible, the braking system shall be designed to be very flexible. So these are bad quality requirements. So you see, we can edit as well. So for example, here, I can sort by requirements by quality and see that, for example, here, this requirement, the train shall reach a speed of, is not right because I am lacking the measurement unit. So I can double click to load the editing window, and you will see that the information I'm using will be quite similar to what I have in the Doors NG widget of the wrapped authoring tool. So you see here, I have information on patterns, and I have the quality here. And by the time I add a unit, then my quality gets high. So I can save in DNG as well. And I will get the new information if I do the calculation. So you see here, it means that in red, it means that I need to run a new calculation. And I can do the same for other metrics. And then I can also see the current state, as I shown you in the presentation, and also the scoreboard, meaning the evolution of the quality. It means that here, for example, I improved the quality of the whole specification. And last also interesting feature is the report. So very interesting for the collaboration between the different users. So here I can share this report with the quality, the requirements authors. And you see here, for example, the results metric by metric. And for each requirement that is not fulfilling the metrics, we see the error, for example, and we can then let the authors improve the quality using this information, or we can do it straight from RQA, depending on what the task repartition is in the team. So you see, we have all the information about the quality errors. So now I can see, I can do the round trip more or less and see that in my properties, I can save the quality in DNG. So if I do this, then I can run another assessment to take into account all the new information that I have here. So mainly the new requirement that I edited, so that I can see this information in the module of Doors NG. So you see updating requirement in DNG here. It's updating all the information. So this is one of the features that is enabled by the connection to DNG. And after it's done, then it's saving the quality information as well. So this, I have requirements checked, and then so I have an announcement that I'm using the module. So coming back to my module here, if I refresh here the view, I'm expected to see the changes in my module. So basically here, if I refresh, if I open the view, then I need to see the requirement that so you see here, the train shall reach a speed of 320 kilometers per hour, high quality. So it means that I got the information right from the RQA, and that I can keep working on this document to keep improving and do the process over and over again. So you see that in an efficient way, we can work between the two tools to improve the quality of your documentation. So now let me share back the presentation. So I will hand over to Cecilia for the questions and answers.
Thank you very much, Elias. Elias will answer your questions in a minute. So if you want to ask him anything, please write down your questions in the chat box. You can address them privately to the reuse company or to everyone. Meanwhile, I will tell you about our next webinar. It's called Implementing ISO 15288 VNV Processes. The ISO 15288 clearly defines what must be done when performing verification and validation processes. We must use analytics and collect evidences. But how? The company has created the VNV Studio as a software tool ready to provide support to the ISO 15288 VNV processes by using and reusing information from RQA Quality Studio and the ontology. The VNV Studio merges verification, validation, and quality, and offers VNV by managing the corresponding verification and validation actions through quality and other measures. It uses actions of work products, as well as providing evidences management. The dates for this webinar will be the 26th and 28th of January. Okay, so we have a couple of questions. Is it possible to integrate with Enterprise Architect model-based system engineering tool?
Okay, Cecilia, so thank you for this question. So the management of the connections to models is done using another tool of our suite, which is called Knowledge Manager. So in this tool, not only can you manage the ontology concepts, so the vocabulary, the patterns, the architectures, relationships between terms, but we can also set external connections, what we call knowledge interface, to modeling tools. And depending on the tools, we either have the connection available, like for example, Capella or Magic Draw or IBM Rhapsody, or for some tools, we can work together in a project as a project to build up a new feature, a new connection. So remember the information that I showed you shown about the connections. So yeah, let's get too far. So here you see the connections. So here we have a connection to EA. So we can connect to EA using the files that come from the models, and the idea is to import the classes and the objects that come from the model, and to include them in a hierarchy that fits our ontology concept. So by means of knowledge transformation is what we call this process. So if you need more information on this, of course, we can discuss in another meeting or in a call. But yeah, bear in mind that we have this possibility to connect to modeling tools using the interface in our knowledge manager.
Okay, thank you, Elias. Is the integration working with the last Doors NG version? Is it working when the Doors NG is in SaaS model?
So let's see, regarding the version, here we are using version 606. So you see that here this demo is using this version of the Doors NG module of the Doors NG RMS. And regarding the other question, I think the best way would be to answer you in an email, or maybe in another discussion, so that we could check if this is working. But in any case, we would be glad to see it and answer your question, of course.
Okay. Is it possible to change the metrics quality baseline, the belt, that is used to analyze the current module from the RAT widget for Doors Next NG or RAT plugin for Doors, rather than having to change it using RQA or RAT standalone?
Yes, so we can change the baselines. So the thing is that here I already selected the baseline for this module. So the idea is that in the first connection, when I connected at the beginning, I had so I'm now sharing the RAT widget with DNG. So in the first connection, remember that we had the possibility to choose the baseline. So the idea is that after choosing the baseline, it's up to the quality analyst to say, okay, keep working with this baseline, or you can improve the baseline. So what I can do here is that I can delete the information about the quality assurance. So this is the first thing, and I can clean the information that I have in the module. So it means that I can start from scratch. So no quality assessment, no information about the levels of quality, and no assessment here in RQA. So it means that I'm interrupting the process here. You see, this is I don't have any assessment. And when I go to the so let's say I refresh this page. So I'm expecting to have no information. And so here you see, I have here the quality, etc. And if I choose the quality here, I'm expecting to have to choose the baseline. So of course it remembers which baseline I was using, but since I don't have any quality, the first process would be to choose. So now it remembers the baseline. So in reality, I have a way to have this this removed. So remember that in the suite we have different tools. One of the tools is the System Engineering Suite Server, so it's the administrating tool. And in this tool, I can manage the connections to all the different documents that has been done by the database. So one way would be to do it from there. So from there I can let me just show you. From there I can decide that this connection is not existent. So you will see all the things are remembered here. So I'm now sharing, of course, the window. So you see here, I have all the information regarding so I analyzed the module in Doors NG, I analyzed this specification, and I did this element. So what I need to do is first delete database, meaning that I'm not I don't remember any of these connections. And by doing this, now I'm expecting to have to choose the baseline again. So this selection of the baseline is rather something that is set by the quality analyst to define the methods that we need to use. So now you see, again, it's asking for the metrics baselines to be used. But since the baselines are managed by the quality analyst in RQA, then it's better to let the analyst decide which baseline to use, or give you the choice to set it again, like I did here.
Okay, thank you. Another question. We have no plans to migrate to Doors NG at present, as many of our customers still use Doors 9 point something. Is the RAT tool available for Doors version 9?
Of course. So we have, as I told you, we have a connection summary that I told you, and we can use we can use also the RAT for Doors here. So let me just change the sharing of the windows so that we can see you can see it. Let me just open a Doors session. So here, this is the Doors Classic, and I can open, for example, this module. So see, name is quite similar, and you will see that we have access to the RAT here. So of course, as the Doors Classic and the Doors NG are very different technologies. One is web-based and the other one is not. So of course, the capabilities are different and the interface will be different. But you see here that I have an authoring tab here, and I can insert objects using this feature. So if I want, for example, to create a new object, I can select Insert Object below. And the first element will be to load the element. So you see RAT plugin for Doors is loading the semantic engine and all the stuff that is used in the knowledge base. So first, you see I never used this module before with this database. So first action is to select the baseline. So you see, again, we are entering the same process again. I can select advanced configuration, for example. And then it's doing copying metrics. So you see the process is the same. So the first opening, of course, as it's loading all the information, will be longer than the other ones. The other ones are like a couple of seconds to open a window, maybe even less. So you see that then I will be able to calculate the quality, and I will be able to use this as an alternative. So now that it's loaded information, I will get the window with the editing of the requirement. So you see right plugin for doors, and I can do the same. So you see I will access the same list of requirements for of patterns, of pattern groups, and I can select, for example, structural requirements. So I have run requirement here, and so system shall have number systems, and I can start writing. So see, quite similarly to Doors NG, I can start writing here. And then green. So you see the colors are matching the color code in Doors NG. So yellow when it's in process, and green when it's finished. And of course, if I write something wrong, like for example, shall contain, then it's red. So same color code. So of course, the inspiration of the widget comes from this version of Doors, as the Doors NG inspiration is from the Doors Classic. So we try to follow as well the trend in the change of paradigm in the field. So here we get information. Of course, it's quite different, but the aim is to have the same information. So now I can save this requirement, and I will get a new line saved. Now, I don't know, maybe ranked by ID, or I can go to the quality view, and here I get the information of the elements. So I need to connect, of course, to RQA to have the round trip to have the quality calculated. But you see that as in Doors NG, you have the quality information available.
Okay, thank you, Elias, and thank you very much to all of you for attending. If you have any further question or want more information about our tools, don't hesitate to contact us by email directly to Elias if you want, or to contact@reusecompany.com. You can also find information on our website, reusecompany.com. Thank you very much, and goodbye.